Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have even more information coming out over here when it comes to this big cheating cat girl that's been going viral. Now, this story is not going to be covering up the channel for the next 5 weeks or so, but there might be one or two more I want to touch on, so subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you guys all for the brand new people who randomly checked out my last video. A lot of that hit up the algo. I don't even know why. It's my second YouTube channel. I'm just here to yap and give you guys hot takes. So if you guys don't cancel me or hate me, please, if you guys are new here, be normal, rational human beings. I try to be pretty chill myself. But anyway, when it comes to this news, if you guys have missed it, there's been this really popular cat girl. Popular is a quote-unquote wording because they're relatively unknown, who has been called out and going viral for basically being a cheater on these specific clips over here, and I was kind of on that same boat. Some of the clips didn't really line up that well. If they were not cheating, more power to them. I hope they have a great life. But just a lot of things didn't really seem to make sense, and they were kind of egging it on, and it just kind of was a weird vibe. And that's strange. I don't know, if anyone who actually knows me and subscribed to me from other channels or my Twitch stream, I'm not the biggest fan of being in drama. And if, usually karma hits people, I would say. But right now, one of their friends is also kind of going viral, trying to defend them, saying, hey, I've been in this AIM community for 5 years now. Riley CS is not cheating, and here's why. They made a 14-minute long, docu-series video, and I want to live react to this all. I don't know if I'm going to agree. I don't know if I'm going to disagree. I don't even know if these people are even real people because this person's clearly a cat girl, but I want to go and talk about this type of vibe because the main clip that's been going viral everywhere is the very first specific one right on this, where it's this clip right here. I also want to try not to pause it too much because there's copyright music over it. As you guys, I don't waste your time on me, I'm all alrighty.
Wow, I flicked straight at that guy.
I flicked straight through that guy through the wall.
Through the wall.
Right. So I had to pause that so I don't get randomly taken down by DMCA. This channel's not monetized. I'm not making any money off this. But, that's the main clip. There's a few other things that didn't line up, and there's also been a little bit of a controversial take on the opinions of what's going on and all that. We may touch on that in a separate video, so like I said, subscribe if you guys want. But this is now where we're going to sit here and react to their friend trying to protect them, and let's see in the next 14 minutes if I'm going to want to rip up my hair, agree and change my opinion, or if I think they should stay banned on Twitch.
Riley CS is not cheating. Obviously, there are a lot of people who are interacting with the discourse in bad faith, but I do think there's a subset of people who are just genuinely unsure.
I'm kind of on that boat, I'll be honest with you. I think it leans more towards cheating. I've played FPS games for probably closer than how long this person's been alive for, unless they're randomly in their pushing their 30s.
So as somebody who's been around the AIM community for a couple of years now,
I do want to push this out too. I'm just giving you guys everything. They've been following for 5 years now, so there is a bias here. Just wanted to let them know. For over 5 years now.
Made educational aiming content in the past and is okay at games myself. Let's break it down.
So first and foremost, this video starts off with them saying they're not cheating, and then they're also explaining that they're friends for a long time, so there's clearly a lot of bias in this.
The elephant in the room is the flick to the rock, but there's a few ideas behind this flick that we need to quickly talk about. First, we need to
Okay. Dude, I'm ready getting tilted already as is, dude. I don't know. Hopefully this hits the right algo. If not, I'm canceled. I'm done. So, first and foremost, what do you mean by play style? I've played games. I've played every game. I've played Valorant. I played Escape from Tarkov. I played everything, bro. There's not much of a play style difference. They're trying to make it seem like these games are way different. Yeah, you might play maybe faster paced shooters like an Apex, and you might be a little bit more ballsy with your movement, but overall, most games are very similar. It just depends on the time to kill and a lot of other various factors. But that doesn't really kind of, once again, explain a pre-firing through a wall directly at people, and the second the person's dead instantaneously on the server base, flips to someone else instantly. Some of the stuff didn't make sense to me personally, but
understand her playstyle.
Let me hear it out.
Riley plays 4 clips.
That doesn't matter. Are you cheating or not?
Whenever she boots up a Battlefield game, the primary objective is getting clips to put in a video.
This person's barely ever made really that many videos in the first place. I have 7,000 videos made, bro. What do you mean?
This is something that a lot of mechanically really strong players like to do, but it is fundamentally different from playing optimally or playing to win.
Yeah. I think everyone knew that.
Playing for clips in Battlefield means going for target switching clips, which is essentially just chaining kills in succession with minimal breaks in between.
This is like Call of Duty back maybe 2009 before people started using sniping because they realized that just doing normal kill feeds really weren't montage material. I mean, I made montages back in the day, bro.
Usually without releasing the fire button.
The this person's like, yeah, you just keep holding down the trigger and trying to get a cool clip. What is this person saying? Like, I mean, maybe they're trying to understand this to like the very, very broad, like wide scale thing. But people who are calling someone out for cheating and like adamantly probably are pretty skilled at video games. Like I have probably years, I'm not exaggerating, years of video game experience underneath my belt. And that's embarrassing for me to admit. Like that's not a brag or a flex. I'm just a loser. I was a Twitch streamer for such a long time. I used to play Call of Duty new montages, and then I would play even Battlefield, Bad Company, like, you know, and do fun stuff there, and like try to go do trick shots and everything. Like I've been around.
Track, flick, track, repeat. But better clips will have more kills, bigger flicks, and cleaner tracks. When there's only 1 or 2 people on your screen, a lot of players will go for what we'll call a gamble flick. These are educated guesses.
Yeah, I even mentioned this in my other video I did before. Sometimes you just kind of go for it. Yes.
Guesses as to where another player might be to extend your target switching combo. This might be an audio cue, minimap ping.
Okay, here's my thing on this, because a lot of people call this stuff on out. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm hot taking, I don't know, maybe I get mass disliked in this video. They keep on trying to use the excuse publicly a lot of that they were looking at the minimap. And if you guys ever played these types of FPS games, even at a high level, and I'm not at the highest level, don't get me wrong, I kind of play for fun nowadays, you are watching the screen to know where to aim next. You don't usually have the chance to look at your minimap in the mix of you focusing on where to go and fire, especially when there's multiple people on the screen. So I don't really like people using this as an excuse, because guess what? Things like aimbots and like they have a chance to use like things like say aim assist into it to go push towards like a character. So that's the whole point of an aimbot. Like it kind of is like, once again, kind of like an aim assist for you, which is very extreme. So it's kind of a moot point, and they keep on bringing it up. I don't like that.
Knowing where someone is from a previous life or before a clip started, or just sending flicks to common angles. A lot of times.
Once again, also common angles and stuff, this game has barely been out. Like, don't forget, this has been a few days now, and it was released in the mix of the Battlefield beta. So this isn't like someone's been playing the game for 6 months every day, 24/7. It's been like hours.
Times in fast respawn modes, you can just send a flick at an objective or where enemies spawn and have a good chance of at least getting close to someone. Sometimes you just get lucky. This is all relevant because it explains the why behind Riley sending a flick towards the objective.
But see, the issue over there is the flick is that there was someone literally right behind the rock exactly where they were shooting, and they knew they were there because they pre-aimed it right afterwards. Like, this isn't really necessarily changing my stance.
And why she kept firing for a few bullets after. This is
like when someone cheats on their boyfriend and be like, well, he was really mean that Friday night before they got pizza. It's like, that's cool and all, but you still cheated.
Common practice within the community. A lot of times it won't work out and you'll flick to nothing, but when it hits, you have a clip. The reason why it's on the rock instead of the angle is both unfamiliarity with the maps and because she just missed.
But it was also pre-fired. Also, the body was quite literally right there in the first place. It just seems all around still not, I'm not convinced. Like, this isn't convincing, this is just like generalities.
This is an overflick. She didn't mean to flick that hard. Stuff like this happens. Like,
also, I want to once again throw in the dude, I'm only a minute, 2 minutes in this video, and I already hate this video. They respond. They're all anime profile pictures too, as well. I'm gonna be a VTuber at some point. I can't judge. I was watching anime last night, dude. It's whatever. But don't forget, this is a little bit biased because they're messaging these people out too as well.
That hard. Stuff like this happens. Like this underflick where I shot the wall exactly where the person is at.
But see, that makes more sense though, because literally that's like one of the only directions that someone could be coming from, and you know there's literally a wall there. So I mean, that kind of makes a little bit more sense of why you'd pre-fire that. I'd probably do the same and say like a Valorant, etc. But I wouldn't really want to be shooting at a normal rock for no reason. Pre-firing, like, doesn't make sense.
Angle I was going for. In this case, it's not as dramatic, but the principle is the same. Try to flick to an angle, execution was a bit off, and suddenly you're aiming at a guy through the wall. You can look at the old CS Pro cheating accusations where Redditors watch replays with X-ray on and see pros perfectly snapping to enemies' heads. And those people aren't even going for clips. It's just normal mouse movement. Considering how many flicks Riley is sending over the course of her streams, this kind of thing is bound to happen. I guarantee you that everybody has accidentally aimed at somebody through a wall before without even knowing. And if you were to
maybe I'm like just digging way too into this situation. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This is the fun part of me being on a random YouTube account that's not my main audience. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. This person almost is like seemingly down talking to people. And there's a lot more people who think that they're cheating with higher ratios, etc., than the opposite. And it almost kind of seems like they're trying to talk in like a very, I'm the teacher and you should listen to what I have to say because I know this person and they would never cheat. Like they would just never, ever cheat, you know? And this is like, I've known people like this. This person just does not sound convincing. You sound like you're condescending.
To go for clips and send a lot of these gamble flicks, you would eventually end up with a similar looking result. Also, if this minimap ping is the same guy, Enders realize the flick is not even on target. So the nonsense about perfectly snapping center of mass or tracking through the wall is probably just misguided.
So my critique that I still stand by and they did not prove to me wrong, it's almost, this is like a manipulation tactic. It's basically saying like, hey, you're wrong, here's why, what they did in the very first 2 seconds of the video, and then still I would want to have more of a clarification on how this worked out, because that scene was very sketchy, nonetheless, because there was someone behind the rock in the first place, and they were pre-shooting. And more so, what I keep on saying is once the first person was dead, they instantly flicked to another person before the person was even dead. That's another time to kill thing, and you don't necessarily get that muscle memory that quickly, especially for a game that's in a beta. That one is also like the part 2 of that same clip that doesn't really make sense, because a lot of that kind of seemed a little bit more client side too as well, because the instantaneous second that the client determined the person was dead, that was when the flick started moving, which is also a lot of kind of cheating, because a lot of cheating is more so based on the in-game tick servers. So you can kind of even see the instantaneous time on this one. I could be wrong, I'm just some random guy on the internet, I don't know what the hell's going on, I'm just self-inserting myself in this drama, but it doesn't really make sense, and I think this seems weird.
If you don't believe the radar ping is the same person, then okay. The rest of the explanations still hold.
But once again, why does the map matter at all? Because the person's focused on shooting the first person to know that they're dead, to then instantaneously flick another person. There is no kind of time to respond to that.
It's true, and that ping.
And they also did go and do their ping responses, and I think I mentioned in the prior video, my even reaction time was faster than theirs using that same similar website. So in theory, if my reaction time is quicker, not to like throw out random statistics, if they did first, I don't give an absolute 2 shits at all, to be fully honest, it's a horrible metric. If mine is better, and I'm saying that's so hard to go and do, with a lot of multitasking experience, being a Twitch streamer for many years, looking at this stuff, it just doesn't add up. And if they're right, dude, and they're chilling, that's fine, like go live your life. I just don't like that, like it just doesn't make sense to me.
For the flick. Next is the weird movement after the kill happens.
This is exactly what I've been calling out.
To understand this one, we have to talk about what happens when you pick up the mouse. Constant movement.
bro, I understand that they're trying to like protect their friend, but just the way they speak, do they like go outside? I don't want to be a hater, bro. I feel like I sound like a hater. I'm not usually like this. You have to pick up the mouse. Hey, I have to pick up the mouse, guys. I gotta pick up the mouse.
And then nothing. No deceleration, no shakiness, just a robotic stop. People have based their entire style around this sensor quirk, manipulating when the sensor stops tracking the pad to stop extreme.
I don't even know if I can even finish this video because I just have something to say after every single line.
Fast and snappy movements. Players who want to make their aim look as inhuman as possible will do this. The basis of that one-frame flick technique involves lifting the mouse both before and after the flick, meaning you skip both the acceleration and deceleration, giving you just one single clean snap. It looks like teleportation. This technique...
Okay, now we're talking about teleporting. I didn't know we're in the 23rd century.
It does come with downsides, but we're not here to discuss that. How is this...
I'll be honest, at this point, I don't even know if this is right or wrong. I just don't like these people.
It's relevant to...
Like the Riley person who's being sassy and calling people like copium and stuff like that, and this person's over here speaking to me like I'm a 30-year-old.
Riley, who doesn't really stop her flicks with a mouse lift. Riley's technique is very wrist-driven. Players like Viscos have mastered the blending and utilization of multiple muscle groups, meaning that
this person's trying to like bring me to hell class, bro. What is this?
She has a huge amount of range of motion on the pad and can shift between them to gain additional flexibility. But Riley, having grown up with a very cramped desk setup and just finding...
Bro, this person's giving me like their life story now too. You know, when they were growing up, they only had a few inches in their mouse pad to go and move it. Yeah, I played on a laptop, bro. Like, what do you mean?
Success with this wrist-driven style has to pick up and reset her mouse a lot, especially after fights or...
I think I do the same exact thing. Like, I literally, like, what?
Moving around the map. Like, it would feel...
So if I'm playing the exact same way, I understand exactly how this feels. I also have a somewhat, like, this is exactly how much space I have on my mouse. Because I have my keyboard right here, I have my console right next to me. Bro, like, there's not that much space. So that usually means you have a higher sensitivity, because if you don't have that much space, you don't like, there's a few levels to this. If you have a wider mouse pad, that means you could have a lower sensitivity that makes things glide better, because you can move it longer. If you pick up the mouse itself, which and once again can clarify, I do this. This is actually, like, I'm resonating with this video. You have a higher sensitivity because you have less space. Think about it. No, like, they just think about it. Think about it for 2 seconds. So this doesn't make sense to me from someone who literally has experience, who has a mouse in front of me. I've literally played video games like this with more hours play these video games beforehand. Like, I'm just not being convinced.
It's strange to start an engagement when your wrist is already like this. So she has essentially performed a 1-frame flick on accident by resetting her mouse. And it doesn't even land on target. It's just a weird looking movement. A lot of you might be wondering, why would you ever play like this? What's the point? And I think the easiest thing to point to would be stuff like Smash combo videos or skateboarding videos. In some ways, it's a
How is this person comparing this to Smash? I'm going to hear him out because I've been being a little bit of a hater, but
display of skill. In others, it's about pushing boundaries and showing others what's possible. And it's also a form of self-expression. Viscos and I can watch a clip from an FPS player and be like, oh yeah, that's a Riley clip. Or look over and say, is that Hollow?
okay.
There's small elements of people's style and mechanics that is unique and personal to them. And especially when you sync it up.
Okay, I'm gonna mix this up with, like, I'm gonna mute this so I don't get DMCA'd. Like, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I've done Call of Duty montages, people have sniping clips or whatever. You can kind of roughly tell maybe back in the day. But, like, not really. You know, I mean, like, it is, but it isn't. And, like, I mean, I get what they mean. Like, some people are more aggressive. Some people are, like, more... Like, I'm more of an aggressive player. So, like, I kind of get the vibe. Is the music still playing?
But one that I think is more than just farming accusations. Anyway, I think that's everything in relation to the rock clip. The rest is just her being really good at aiming on top of everything else, so she's capable of making those fast, accurate motions.
Dude, I want to harp on this too much, because if I'm wrong, I'm going to look like such a loser. Dude, if you look at the clip, they didn't really answer what people were complaining about. Because once again, it almost kind of seems like they realized that they were doing something suspicious, if allegedly it was true. And you can notice right now they're looking at this screen and they're shooting. So they're like, oh my God, but there's a person like literally right there. Then they shoot and they're like, oh, I should probably not be doing that. But then once again, the person was right there to the left. So they almost try to move this. Okay, fine. They go get the person because they move, you know, you got to have that move reset. But then they instantly jump to this other person, right? Do you see how the person dies? So it flicked to a person that's dead. But then why would they... Like, the gun has 53 bullets. So the entire rant this person's talking about of, like, you want to keep the gun shooting the entire time to make the clip look cool, they were not doing this. Like, I literally just showed you all. So this is why I think these people are just absolutely cheating. Because just even their explanations are trying to make people seem like they're looking down on someone and trying to go talk very politely and say, hey, I just think you're wrong for whatever reason. Here's why. Because if you want to have a cool clip, you know, you just keep on shooting and it makes everything look so crazy for like 4 minutes, not even discussing the clip. But if you look at the clip, they stop shooting the second they're at a wall, which they probably, why would you do that? Because on both ends, if you're shooting at the wall, you don't want to shoot the wall. I get that. Duh. But like the person was there exactly where the crosshair was. And then you move. And you kill the person that was exactly right where your crosshair was. And then your game automatically flicks to someone where it looks like they died. So you flick to it. So you know it's there if your brain is processing it, quote unquote. And you have 53 bullets in the chamber below you. So why would you stop shooting, zoom out, and then once again just to zoom back in? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, see, that's what, I probably didn't explain that properly, but you see how like the person's, they flicked, they got rid of it, they went back in. That's what I'm trying to explain. So why would you do that? You have the bullets, keep shooting. And then you just keep on shooting afterwards. But there's nothing really there. Hopefully I explained that properly, because it's kind of hard to explain, because there's a lot of like, well, this person's trying to say you should keep on shooting and make it look cool, make it flow really well, and then there's like multiple pauses and weird flicks, and then the shooting keeps going afterwards. You know what? Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully I explained that properly. If not, my apologies. I'm not good at doing dissection videos. I usually talk about random VTuber gossip if I'm doing anything on this channel. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so slow. I thought he was doing that on purpose. That was, I mean.
What about the hand cam? How can I justify it being so unsynced with the gameplay?
Like, is there just everything wrong? I mean, even at this point, dude, I'm almost not even interested in all this other stuff, because there's just always something. Like, this person can unironically be making out with someone and being like, oh no, there was just some food on her lips.
Well, I don't have to, because it is synced. Most of the people who are confused about the hand cam are seeing one of two things. The first is that there is always a delay between the motions you make in game and the motions you see on the hand cam, unless you manually add a delay.
Yeah, which you should do. Most people do. It takes literally about 3 seconds to do an OBS. I've done that for my camera. I've done that on everything. Like, it really does take around 3 seconds. And if you have all this big integrity on how you want to be like this best gamer or whatever, this is like probably one of the first things brought up. It's like speedrunners or whatever. This is like day one. It takes literally 2 seconds to do an OBS.
Watch when my camera moves in game. And then look at when my hand cam moves. There are a few frames of difference, and that can make it feel unsynchronized.
Then fix it. So you're lazy? Like, that sounds like what a cheater would do if you're lazy.
The other is mouse resetting. Half of these physical movements are not creating an on-screen movement because the mouse is just in the air. We talked about the why beforehand, but yeah, that's why when your hand will go left or right, sometimes you won't see that reflected in game. Okay. Then, if she is this good, why not go pro?
They didn't... Okay.
This argument is honestly so stupid, but it comes up so often that
this one is a little bit stupid. I can give them credit. If I'm hating on everything, I can give them credit for
I
this.
have to talk about it.
Because I'm sure they're going to say something like, if you're going for clips, it's slightly different. I understand that. Also, the game just came out, so there's no pro team for Battle. There's not really a big pro scene for Battlefield 2 as well. I mean, it's kind of duh. Like, I mean, okay.
The first is that target switching is just one kind of aim. There are a bunch of different ones, with people specializing in all of them.
That was not the point I thought they were going to make at all. I thought, okay. Okay.
But switching is probably the flashiest.
All right.
The categories do interlink in a lot of ways, but it's absolutely possible to be good at one skill and not be even close to the top at others. Riley's honestly really good at most of the categories, but her speed...
Okay. Dude, this person's like an actual donut for how much they're glazing, bro. Dude, is this like their boyfriend or something? Are they dating?
Speed switching is definitely a step above the rest. And that's a skill that most FPS players
Oh, should I not assume, sorry?
haven't seen pushed that often. That said, Sarah Frags used to be a target switcher too, and look at her now. Constantly in the discussion for the best mechanics in Valorant. The second reason is that she just...
They also showed a clip where it's just a random RNG spray they got lucky on. Okay, that was not... Whatever.
Just doesn't enjoy taking games seriously. She's like somebody who shows up to a local basketball game and is constantly going for ball handling tricks.
I hate these people.
Like, yeah, you could probably use that skill to compete at a high level, but that's not really why she loves playing FPS.
No, this is like Harlem Globetrotters, bro. It's like a show. I mean, that's probably the point they're trying to go make, but people...
And being a pro is so demanding. Like, we're talking 5 to 8 hours of scrims a day, constant training regimen. So
I saw a post from that rally person that they said that they have literally no life and they play video games like 18 hours a day. So like what?
much external stress to perform well every game, and the audience dehumanizing you and judging your every move.
Most pros make a lot of money. If they pop on some streaming, they make some content. Look at Shroud. I'm just saying. Not everyone. There's a lot of people who don't do anything, but
it's not all it's cracked up to be. Then there's the fact that most games don't place aim as a skill of utmost importance. To continue the basketball analogy, aiming skill is...
Why do they show Valorant? Valorant's probably the most important game for... Okay.
Kind of like shooting ability. It only matters as much as your ability to play with a team and get yourself into situations to utilize that shooting ability.
That Battlefield clip, they were by themselves, and most of the time Battlefield is very solo-based. I mean, yeah, you could have people dropping ammo and stuff, or you have like little group pushes or whatever, but the clip itself, they were by themselves. So like, once again, this point doesn't matter. This person's just like speaking to people like they're idiots.
I do honestly believe...
Like, even if they were right, this is just not a convincing video. Like, this is almost more entertaining to me than the main clip, because this person's kind of yapping along about a bunch of random
I
stuff.
believe that if a game like Battalion was still around, or Battlefield 4 competitive was more alive, she'd be really good, really fast. But it's just not the reality we live in anymore. She did get to Immortal in Valorant, but she's not nearly passionate enough about that game to keep pushing the game's specific skill any further. I think that's it for the common complaints people have. From here on out, I'm going to go into much greater detail and speak more generally about the game as a whole, but I'll try to make it as accessible as possible.
Okay.
How is this kind of flicky aim possible?
I think everyone understands why it's possible, it just doesn't line up, and it was a very weird situation to be in.
It looks like cheats, being able to instantly snap between targets with perfect accuracy.
Not always.
How come
Just behind a rock and then switching bodies that are already dead when it kind of looked like tick-based stuff, as I mentioned, that's more the issue.
Aim
Pros can do this if they wanted to, it's just...
has come a long way in the last few years, to the point where we're able to watch a montage from 5 years ago and say things like, oh wow, this has aged quite well, or scores that were really good for the time. I think aim training is a big part of that. I made a video about playing Aim Trainer for a month and seeing how it affected my aim, and back then it was this tiny niche little thing that only a couple hundred people even knew about. But once that video reached the masses, it was bound to really resonate with a handful of people. That was 5 years ago, and the people who got into it back then have put in the thousands upon the thousands of hours.
I can give them credit, it has grown the audience, and obviously more people are playing FPS games, get younger people into it, better PCs, etc. Like, I can give them credit, yeah.
Dedicated
If I'm going to be hating a lie, they're right.
To this one specific skill, which has far more active and comprehensive practice than even something like arena FPSs. Imagine the only time you could ever practice hitting a baseball is in an actual game, and suddenly pitching machines come out.
Yeah, but a lot of the... Okay, dude, I hate this person. Not really, this is all for content. I actually do not care at all in the slightest, even for the Catgirl person. I really do not care at all. I'm just a gossipy person. Dude, people used to have, like, custom matches. You could have bots in games, like, even, like, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Like, what? This is kind of mute. Aim labs and stuff is new, yes, but what?
You'd be getting so much
Look at CS. CS had custom servers for this type of stuff. What do you mean?
more practice in that one skill than everybody else.
What?
Another thing that makes them so effective is that aim trainers are harder and more demanding than any in-game situation you'll ever come across.
What?
You have to aim to the best of your ability for a full minute and be consistent the entire time. Compare that to a quick 5-second target switching situation, and it makes it seem trivial mechanically. Riley has 1,400 hours in aim trainers, and is at the very top of speed-focused target switching scenarios. She's been playing on and off.
But once again, the person's not even there. They were showing on the mini map, and you flick to them instantaneously exactly where they were behind the rock. This is fine. But this isn't the situation. You know, they're kind of just making up stuff now at this point.
Video came out.
Like, everything they're trying to explain to me, I understand the concept, but it doesn't really address too much of the situation. They kind of rush on it really quickly and moved on.
But not every really good...
And try to convolute everything else a little bit more. Like, even if they're right at this point, this is just not a convincing video.
The switching player plays aim trainers. And I think another big reason aim has come so far is learning about what's possible. Riley got into target...
Like, this person's trying to be like Martin Luther King Jr. talk about their dreams, man. Like, what?
Switching from people like Neo Ninja, Shaman, and Viscos. 2 of which were cheating, but a lot of us...
Let me recap that one over here, bro. Whoa, what?
Like Neo Ninja.
Riley, this person got into target switching from people like Neo Ninja, Shaman, and Viscos.
2 of which were cheating.
Oh my good god. Like, yeah, this person loved doing this stuff, but 2 of their idols actually were caught cheating after the fact. Like, bro.
But a lot of us felt the same way. Neo Ninja was the first time most people had even seen target switching, and seeing it was like turning up.
People have known about this stuff since playing Call of Duty back in like 2005. Like, I'm so... Did I live a different world? Am I, like, even like Halo times back in the day? Am I just too much of a boomer?
Light. Having that much dedicated practice while having the goal in mind of going for these clips and improving that skill makes a huge difference for how your skill will develop.
I feel bad I'm a hater.
Todd is probably the worst offender of this.
Exactly.
Max level players who still can't shoot straight because they play in a way where they have to aim as little as possible to do well.
That just proved my point of what I just said 2 seconds ago.
Versus Colors, who has...
I played pro modded stuff back in the day, dude, on COD 4 servers. It was crazy. Like, what?
Aim she can transfer to every game because it's something she's thought about and cares about a lot. Then there's just time play generally. PC FPS was a pretty young skill back in the Battlefield 3 or 4 days, and with any mechanical skill, people are going to get pretty good over the course of a decade. Riley has an ungodly amount of time in Destiny. She peaked like top 13 in PvP or so.
Yeah, but let me keep it a $1.50 with you. Also, all of Destiny is a bunch of cheaters. I know probably every single Destiny content creator known to man. That game is plagued with cheaters. Trials was cheaters nonstop. People are account boosting, getting banned. Like, it's just not, this is not a game you want to be involved in. Because everyone's like, go and Google Bungie lawsuit against like hackers. Like, everyone's hacking this game, bro. And it's also Destiny. Like, what, dude? Like, what?
Thousands of Counter-Strike hours.
So do I.
Was Immortal and Valorant, and thousands more hours across all of the COD and Battlefield
Same here.
titles. Really, anything you can think of, she's probably played at least.
I've been a full-time Twitch streamer for like 15 years, bro. Like, I've done all the same stuff, and I think they're completely full of gas on both these people now. I don't like either one of these people.
There's also our understanding of theory.
What are you talking about fucking theory? Like, what is this philosophy going on, bro?
The further the skill develops, the more we understand about what's actually going on in our muscles.
Oh my god, this person's trying to go and give us like... Dude, this person looks so down on everyone. I swear to god. This person probably walks around thinking that they are better than every single person on the entire planet. Oh my god.
To make these things happen, what leads to the most efficient and consistent movements, and so on.
I'm crashing out, dude. I'm literally, this is like 30 minutes of me just having pain.
Like, if you practice with the old adage of always hold your mouse like an egg in mind, you would never be able to achieve what Riley's doing.
I've never heard anyone compare your mouse.
She has taken a more brute force approach than most.
Brute force approach. They're just playing the game, dude. I'm losing brain cells.
But I do think that learning about managing her tension on flicks has completely transformed her aim. You can watch her progression through her videos. She was always good, but when her style developed to what it is now, it became something special.
You know, I'm just gonna be honest. I think this person's just cheating because this person just has fully convinced me that they just assume that other people will believe it. Like, at this point, I'm all alleged. I am so just done with this situation that I just think they're a cheater at this end. I don't even care. Like, truly.
And then there's peripherals. Back when Battlefield 4 came out, the best mouse was, what? The Razer Death Adder? That mouse is 105.
This person's blaming the Razer Death Adder and the weight of their mouse. Bro, I gotta, like, look at this, dude. Yeah. My glorious mouse got a bunch of holes everywhere to make it lighter. This thing is like magic in my hands. And I can, once again, like, every single point that they've mentioned, I can counterpoint that the mouse doesn't really matter, bro. Like, I'm reminding you guys, I'm also doing the same similar, like, picking up my mouse style. I do this. I don't have that much space as well. Look at my mouse sensitivity just on this. Like, it's crazy fast. I'm barely moving my hand, dude. Like, I've been here, done that. I'm, like, probably the perfect person to just prove literally everything that's going on. These people are a bunch of crooks.
5 grams.
Allegedly.
And Riley's mouse is 27. As for why this matters,
this is just wipe your mouse down, dude.
You can think of it like
I see the actual smudge. Whose clip is this?
Violin bow. Well, you can absolutely...
I also played the violin when I was younger, dude. I literally went to violin classes. I did performances, dude. Your Lie in April is one of my favorite animes, bro. Dude, I'm literally a violinist. Like, not good. I haven't played in many years, but bro, I was playing the violin for many years, dude. What is this video? These people are like my antithesis of a person.
Play a song with a bow that is 4 times the weight as normal, having it be light, agile, and not carry much momentum means that you can get way more control over the exact acceleration and deceleration you apply on the object. When you're performing techniques that require you to have an immense amount of control over where, how heavily, and for how long the bow makes contact with the strings, having a very heavy object makes this basically impossible. And for FPSs, there's mouse pads and skates too. We have a much better understanding of how friction affects technique, and she and I have both obsessed about it a lot.
I always want to look through some of my DMs, dude, and just kind of look and see, like, I don't know, like, look at mouse or something, man, you know? Like, what am I at, dude? Yeah, you know what? Once again, just so you guys don't, like, ever believe me, here is literally me. This is a live Gayazo over here, dude. 118 results as well. They're trying to go and flex on their, what was it? whatever, 500 at that point, dude. Well, guess what? I actually buy my mouses too as well. Like, I can even look through some of these things. So I use it to stabilize my mouse. It sits on the mouse, my keyboard and mouse skills. Like, we're even talking about flicks too as well. I literally have a quote from 318 saying, with the Q directional with mouse, you flick your mouse around. Like, I discuss these things, like I'm involved in this type of stuff. I'm quite literally, once again, the perfect person to call these people out, and that's just one conversation. And I'm not like some hyper fixated like autist over here, not in an insulting way. If you're autistic, you're totally cool, but like some people do hyper fixate on this type of stuff, and if this is their hyper fixation, bro, like I'm right there with you without even being like that into it. Like, I've had these conversations, I just showed it with every other point too as well. I've muted against it, I've played the same exact games for probably the same amount of time. And I got the money to go buy a nice mouse that's very lightweight. Do these people are a bunch of cooks?
Monitor and frame rate make a difference too, of course, especially when it comes to the motion blur that you experience mid-flick.
You usually turn off motion blur. I turn off motion blur. Like, hey, you want to have a higher hertz monitor, it's nice for the refresh rate. I also have a 240 hertz monitor in front of me.
As for things that characterize Riley's technique, like I said earlier, she utilizes her wrist for the vast majority of movements, and that does come with some drawbacks. Perfect looking technique would look something like this. No extraneous movements, near instant snaps, and immediately having the flick lead into a track. Because Riley primarily uses one muscle group for aiming, it means that it's much harder to manage that tension. And tension is one of the driving forces she employs to stopping motions. That's what gives her landings that sort of bouncy, shaky, or chaotic appearance at times. That, and the fact that she only has 4 fingers on the mouse, makes it
I thought they were going to say they only had 4 fingers in total. I would have lost it.
a little bit harder to stabilize fast motions. But she's really, really good at it.
We've heard that many times. She's very, very good. Very, very good.
While the flick and micro adjustment aren't blended super seamlessly, they do happen very fast in succession, and slowing down the footage will reveal those fundamental movements.
Like, they saw the person on the wall, that's fine. Like, okay, like they have the vision.
I've seen some people say that other players are clearly legit because they don't have those weird looking micros, and that'd be why. And lastly, what the fuck is wrong with all of you? Like,
Once again, did I not say this around 7 times that this person is looking down on everyone? This person is speaking as if they are the end-all be-all god of knowledge and information, and at the same exact time, they just think you're an idiot. Like, who does this in a video?
we live in a world where empathy doesn't exist anymore?
This guy is like trying to teach me how to be a person. We just want to know if they're cheating or not, bro. Like, what? I don't like this person.
Or the level of hate and harassment she's received for being good at...
They brought it on. They were calling people copium. They were calling people out. They were egging on people. They literally brought it to themselves. Like, their attitude and like lack of even having the acknowledgement / empathy of understanding that this is a somewhat suspicious situation and addressing it properly and just saying like, hey, I know it might be like a little tweet longer. Hey, I know it might be a little hard to believe. I've been playing games for a lot. I would love if you came by my Twitch stream at some point to go and let me show you my games. I've been working on stuff. I do aim labs all the time. Anything that was somewhat cognizant and like, you know, taking the empathetic approach that knowing that their actions are not the best is the true empathy over here. So once again, this person's just trying to go manipulate the audience to try to make them seem like their friend that they have prior knowledge with is somehow like in the right and has been receiving all this hate. Now, I'm not going to go and say they haven't, but it's mostly on the judging of if they're a cheater or not. And I think that's a somewhat valid level of critique if you focus only on the, say, harassment of if they're cheating or not. They could also be proven in a very proper way. Not saying cope and see the idiots, I'm the best cat girl known to man, and baiting everyone and rage baiting. This person themselves are trying to go support the level of rage baiting, and this person's disgusting because they are incentivizing manipulation in like 4 different levels, even based on their video, as they go and talk like this. But maybe sometimes you guys should go and reflect on your actions, because then maybe people would trust you more. Because even at the end of the day, if they weren't cheating, I'm very disappointed in all these people's opinions, because it makes me realize that they're actually manipulative, emotionally unintelligent people who don't understand how the world really works. So maybe take some accountability, buddy. Like, I hate people like this.
The game and being transgender is
What? I mean, maybe some people call him out, sure, whatever, but even for someone like me, dude, I don't think I've ever once, even on my video, I think I specifically muted the video to make sure they didn't get any hate, and I focused entirely on the fact of what they're doing in the game. Same with this entire video. Bro, like, this person, man. Like, I get it, though, you shouldn't be mean to people, but you know, still.
Half of the time, these people won't even make an argument.
I made so many arguments in this video.
They're just going immediately for ad hominem. Riley is honestly the sweetest.
I don't care if they're the nicest person or not. They didn't seem nice. They seem like they're baiting people. They seem like a rage baiter. They also seem very rude, condescending. And of course, as well, same with this person. This person is the fakest person I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoever made this video, and I know this from 14 minutes of watching the video. Like, this person's the fakest person ever.
And most kind-hearted person.
This person's not nice. They talk quietly to put on a mask so they can seem like they're better than you.
I've ever met in the game community. She was the first person to ever compliment my aim.
This person's so absolutely biased.
And all, she has no real ego towards other players unless
this entire video is based on the ego of them not able to go and accept that other people may be a little bit skeptical of their behavior. That's an ego as is. Like, bro, what do you mean? This person's stupid.
I've been rude to her. And she just wants to share her love for FPSs and aiming with other people. She doesn't deserve all of this hate.
You shouldn't hate on him, I agree, but you can critique him, yes.
From people who just are trying to find their grift of the day or
This person's grifting. This person's projecting.
don't know any better.
I hope it's over soon. Bro, are you... what is the dude? Anyway, this is my take on this one. This person's probably a cheater. Even if they weren't cheating, they probably were just based on how this is going on, dude. I don't even care anymore. What a loser, dude. These people are so disappointing, man. I'm out, dude. Check out this person. Subscribe if you like their take. If you think I'm wrong, totally fine. If I am wrong, my apologies. I hope they don't get, say, unbanned on Twitch. I hope they are not banned on Twitch. And they shouldn't receive hate for who they are or whatever. But if they are a cheater, they deserve the critique. I would say at the end of the day, this was a 40-minute long reaction video. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna water my plants, dude. Talk to some girls or something. I'm out. So go subscribe. Peace.